Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.
Hello, this is the Teens Times TV Hangout. We are at a roundtable discussion with innovators, startups, and women entrepreneurs put together by the Tony Elumelu Foundation on the visit of the Vice Chairman of the European Commission. Do stay with us.
Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.
You are the CEO of a leading technology company, and you are also, might I say, a technology developer and support for the largest digital network of African entrepreneurs, TEF Connect. This was built by Africa Prudential, and they continue to support the platform to ensure that entrepreneurs are able to apply, to train, to mentor online. So tell us, Obon, can you shed some light on the transformative ways that innovation is supporting growth in Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Titi, and thank you for the Tony Elumelu Foundation and for inviting us and trying to host and hosting this very nice forum. Yes, TEF Connect, very interesting. I'll come to that at the end of the topic. So, in terms of what innovation is doing in Nigeria in terms of the economy, I think one of the things is you see a large, in terms of productivity, there's a lot happening. You see companies right now changing and improving on the existing products. You see new products coming and being developed. Again, companies leveraging technology, startups developing new products and services. And you also see new processes, coming in place. And all these all add to the productivity, of the economy. And in terms of that, you see also in terms of new business models coming, you see platforms growing across. Platforms going across. You also see scope of companies being increased. And what this does for the consumer is it provides a lot of opportunities. It provides a lot of more access. It makes things cheaper for the consumer. And also in terms of the scope. In terms of the scope and the increase, you also see that there's a lot of. Just last year we had two new what you call unicorns coming in. Two unicorns. We had OPay. We also had startups. These are startups in Nigeria, and that brings. We had OPay and we had Photoway, and that brings in the introduction of foreign direct investment. We saw 1.1 billion coming last year for 102 startups in Nigeria alone. This also increases the access to markets. There's new access to markets for Nigerian startups and Nigerian entrepreneurs. Where back in the day you would see where a company starts up and just has the local markets to contend with. But now we see a huge variety of products and services going across not just within the continent but also across the world. So all that is also generating a lot of things happening in terms of the funding space and the market. And also you would see where in terms of the access, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of new wealth coming and being created. You see in the development space, software developers now doing, having capacity to do more, doing a lot outside for local and foreign companies there. So all that has had a very, very positive effect on the Nigerian economy. You could also see where the government is also even coming into play and take a role to try and support some of this growth. We saw, I think 2 years ago with the finance bill, where startups have been exempted from, I think from 25 million below, from paying taxes. From 25 to 100, it's been reduced to just 20% as against the 30% corporate tax bill. We see the plan for the broadband plan in 2020. We also see a lot of all these support coming from the government, and so that to just continue to try and push and support this innovative and productivity across the space. I think that one of the things we also see is we also see a lot of a lot of businesses in terms of how they were in the past in terms of traditional businesses. We see a lot of new businesses and new innovations and new ways of running and driving these businesses, and it's also increased, it's brought in a lot and increased in terms of increased the scope and the manner and the productivity. I mean, it's increased the scope and manner of how things are done, and that has brought in a lot in terms of economic enhancement for the nation.
Thank you, Ron.
Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.
This is your program. Could you just tell us what it's all about and how it affects teenagers?
And youth.
Well, I just learned about it today, so I will tell you what I heard today. I came here accompanying the Executive Vice President of the Commission, Margaret de Vestager. She's in charge of digital in the European Union. And we came here today to see how the support that the EU is giving to the Tony Elumelu Foundation is helping bring real solutions to real problems through technology. And we heard very inspiring stories today about, for instance, financial inclusion of people, youth and women in rural areas, for example. We've heard stories, for example, about providing new opportunities for startups, people who want to start their own business, about providing new skills for young people who want to pursue a career in digital. So we were very, very inspired by what we heard today.
Okay, you made mention of providing skills for young people. So that is inclusive of the teenagers, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So what advice do you have to the young ones, the youths and the teenagers on stepping into the tech industry? Do they step in, or are they to just take this back seat? What's your general advice to them?
My only general advice is using your phone is great. Learning how to make things with it is even better. Try to pursue your dreams with technology. Learn how to code, learn how to program, learn how things work, because that is the way which you can then not just make a career for yourself, but help your community.
Hi guys, my name is Princess Adeyinka. I'm the founder and CEO of Happy Coffee.
Okay, so we just rounded up this program. So could you just tell us what it's all about and how it relates to teenagers, since this is a teens TV show?
I think first things first. So this program is it's about a foundation called the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which I'm also a recipient. I got selected about 7 years ago, and I started my business from the funds that I received. I've also worked with a lot of teenagers growing up. I ran the youth church. A lot of them are now in the university. But for me, what's critical to young people is first your mindset. I think you need to understand what it means to be a young person and what your contribution is. And I also like to encourage young people that, this thing is a mobile phone. Yes, it's good for Snapchat, it's good for TikTok, but it's also very good for getting information. So a lot of young people need to realize that they have a wealth of information in their hands that they need to take advantage of.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you. Once again, this is the Teens Times TV Hangout show.
Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. Thank you, everyone, and thanks for the invite as well. Yes, I had financial inclusion. Again, let's take it one step back. I think it's more digital inclusion. So human beings are being digitally included. So when you are, then you can do every single thing else, including finance. And that's essentially what is happening. And again, we will never scratch the surface. If we have this conversation in 100 years' time, we will still be saying the same thing, that we're still not scratched the surface. And I don't think humanity would ever scratch the surface. It's just what we do at every particular point in time that we seem to see as technology or digital. So as we're coming close to machine, as that proximity between man and machine are coming together, the humanity is able to blur lines of everything else, transactions, and all the ecosystems that keep to come up. So because we're blurring the lines, financing is global, services is global. We're just trying to be able to make sure that the speed from vision to value is much faster. And once we understand that fundamental principle, then every other thing that you want to do in technology is how do we keep bridging that gap between vision and value. And those are the kind of fundamental principles that we do most of the things we do, especially today in UBA. And we're looking at it and we're imagining finance from a digital standpoint. So we've looked at it and why not make it conversational? And Leo was born. And again, what we're trying to do is to say, what are the natural habits that humanity is using to do interactions? If those habits are through conversations like text, then it's easier to build a chatbot that is able to do financial transactions. Then it becomes popular across Africa, and we keep moving on. And we're still reimagining it. So the next conversation is, if we give it a voice, what happens? So every single thing is about how do we keep breaking the boundaries of what we have and making things more seamless. So we've created a new mobile application that, if you look at it from a different perspective, you say, yes, you can gesture the app to do things by waving your hands. The idea is not the facade around waving your hands on the app. The thinking behind it is to say, how do we improve the interactivity between human beings to do financial transactions by gesture? How do we get those things to happen? How do we log in without consciously trying to do that? And each time we keep thinking through those boundaries to make it smoother for customer service and make user experience more seamless. We keep breaking the boundaries of what it takes to do work. And each time you break those boundaries, the volumes of what you do increase. And if they increase, profitability increase, your digital dominance becomes more obvious. And that is how we've been innovating around a couple of those spaces, clearly as we have today in terms of technology. But again, in the past, banks used to be structures. Tomorrow, the bank would be you. Because it's actually going to move from one point of being separate from you to you. And that is what all the technologies that are coming together, like blockchain, is almost putting together and piecing it together to get to that point where you are the bank, right? And if that is where technology is heading to, then the way we see things today needs to gradually change to get to that destination. And every single thing, most of the innovation labs that I have are thinking is, how do we re-engineer that conversation? How do we ensure that beyond the bank in itself, there's an ecosystem that we could support? Well, everybody calls it open banking, but the idea is to sustain an ecosystem and move beyond intermediation. Funds transfer has become basic. The ecosystem needs to be stronger. The strengths that we have would be able to make technology move at a thought that if you mention it today, people will wonder, I want to buy somebody lunch in Kenya just by picking up my phone and doing that. I want to lose all the boundaries, the skin back bias of humanity. We want to take it all off and do things digitally in such a way that every single thing you can do with proximity, you can achieve digitally and do that globally without any restrictions. And that's some of those things that we keep doing in terms of innovation. We keep thinking, we keep re-engineering, we keep reimagining, and those are the things that help us push some of those boundaries that have created the successes that you see today. And we will not stop. Thank you.
And also wanted to convey the message of my commissioner. She's extremely committed, Jutta Urpilainen, to precisely giving youth a voice, but also giving youth opportunities. actually she really asked all of our delegation to develop what she has done in Brussels, which is a youth sounding board. So she wants to make sure that she will listen to them, not just consult and expose to you but actually co-create with youth. And I'm very happy to hear that today. I think there are two, because the delegation in Nigeria, thanks also to the leadership of Samuela and Cecile, our head of cooperation, they actually also have a youth sounding board here, and I think there are one or two of the members here. Yes, here they are. So we're very happy about that. 2022 is the year of the youth in Europe, and so I think it will be many occasions to portray and show all of these successes. And finally, maybe just to say that so we've contributed with 20 million euro to this project, but be assured that we will continue to support, because precisely youth is a big part of what we want to do in general. It is a big part of what we want to do in Nigeria. We have projects and programs that we will be signing on Monday with the authorities, precisely on innovation, on fellowship, on having youth, being able to go into the enterprises right away and find jobs. So I am also very impressed. And next week also is the African Union, the European Union Summit, which is preceded by a youth summit and civil society and business environment. So I think you really are like the combination of all of this. So really congratulations on all I heard, and we will continue to accompany you. Thank you.
Evan Christian. So in your work with African founders creating technology-driven solutions, can you tell us some trends that you're seeing? And how can today's entrepreneurs lean into these opportunities to help them scale their businesses?
Okay. The ecosystem has become more professional, and it has become more African. I think that's the key trends. I've been one of the first people in digital ecosystem in Nigeria. I guess I came here 8 years ago. I was part of Jumia, running Car Moody, a car marketplace back in the days. It was all Western funded. All Western ideas come brought to Nigeria, and even mostly Western managers. Like Julia and 3 others were there, and not much else actually. There was not a single billboard that had a website on it. There was very little understanding. Our car dealers had no clue what we are selling to them. They didn't know what the internet really is. They bought our service because, hey, we're giving you customers. That's how we sold it, and we were snapping for them. They did not know them. So times have changed a lot. I mean, look at what we have right now. I mean, there's a big ecosystem. There's billions of dollars of investments going into startups. Still, it's just 1% of the yes. That's true, but the potential is definitely visible now. So a lot has developed. And I believe that entrepreneurial spirit, that is really big in Nigeria. I mean, the drive to do something, especially in Lagos, but even everywhere in Africa, so amazing. Hard to believe that we come from Germany. People are pretty well, they have light security. So a lot has developed on that. And the second thing, the Africanness, also like as African founders, we have like 15 companies, I think, over the time, or ventures, how we call them. And those who have succeeded are all African, or those who are still running are all uniquely to Africa. So those where we copy from the Western management is around anymore, actually. So for example, take Wakanda Market, they have a marketplace. All of it is local, it's neighborhood-based. It's trying to bring the African informal sector market to your phone. You reach out to the seller directly, you can negotiate, you can hustle, you can ask if the product is even available before you buy it, you can directly walk to it and get the product. Much different than an anonymous source that is maybe useful for the top 20% of the country, but not for everybody. We have also, we have a CRM system. The CRM system, we believe that's something global. That's Salesforce.com, there's HubSpot, there's SAP. That does it work in Africa? I don't know if anybody has ever implemented CRM in an organization in Africa. I used to try that for Jumia. It is a disaster. So the complexity of that, it's just made for a desktop, it's not used for a limited internet on the field. So we're creating something like that also. We're just extracting that for the market together with market finance manufacturing. So a lot of things are coming to become more and more African, I believe. And yeah. I mean, one last thing I would notice as a trend, where maybe not much is happening yet, I believe, is, I mean, look at what the young people today do with the smartphone. They got used to it in the last couple of years in a way that is unimaginable compared to a few years ago. And everybody's connected to international sources, everybody's connected to each other. That's quite amazing. That's quite a fundamental shift, I believe, that's not even yet visible in what Nigeria is about to expect in transformation. And there's so much dynamics. I mean, even if you look at something like EndSARS or so, it was something that happened online by a small group that was just angry about something, right? And what came out of it, I mean, yeah. But the young people like to connect with such platforms. So definitely something to be done in that space that can really shape things. My personal view, and that's what we are doing actually, we're trying to do, we have the technology in place, is how to create a platform. For some reason, social media only has limited capacity to really enforce dialogue. I mean, my great understanding would be the right person to know about that. There's so much hate speech, there's so much shaming, there's so much going on social media, which is really not under control in a sense. So we're trying to create a community platform. We have like communities, we have all types of communities, and our approach is once you reach a certain level of users, like 500 users or so, then you have to be open to dialogue. We have like a partner who facilitates a dialogue in our platform, and we say if there's too much trouble, like, that's okay, that's fine, expression is fine, but you need to be open to actually come together and listen to each other, hear each other, include the different perspectives, and understand what's the different voices better, and hear the voices better, know the voices. Those are the things that are truly important to create trust on the internet, I believe. And with that, we hope that we can then create a platform where even grants can be given, even work can be done in a more beautiful way. So that's a bit the story that we're trying to tell.
Sure. Potato is an SME. We are based, we were born here in Lagos, but actually from Lagos, we open up branches in South Africa, in Johannesburg, in Udine in Italy, and in Dubai in the Emirates. Since we work in transfer of technology between Europe and Africa, and for once, an hardware. Here you see smart glasses, so a lot of technologies, platforms, communities, and whatever, we are a little bit more hardware oriented, but still to improve productivity and collaboration. These smart glasses are very useful, for example, for remote assistance and collaboration, where you have field workers and so on. And we are using them in the Digilogy project as well, in the area of smart logistics. Other things that we are working on as the topic, but also within some of the projects that have been funded by the European Commission, are affordable, portable, small-scale hydrogen solutions, energy storage solution. Why? Because a lot of the technologies that we want to bring on the ground, for example, into the agri-tech sector, farmers, remote areas, somebody said, beyond Lagos, beyond Abuja, the connectivity, the infrastructure is so low. Okay, then we need power, and then we will need satellite, we will need to find a solution to make digital for everybody. Now, getting to the H2020 Horizon Europe experience, since 2021, we started the Digilogy project. It's innovation action, answering to the ICT 58 call. It will last for 3 years, and we are working with great partners in Europe. We are BTT Research Institute in Finland, we are Fraunhofer and Digital Logistics Hub in Dortmund. But same in Africa. On the African side, we are working with the MAST Foundation in Ghana and with Bongo Hive in Zambia. But we met some of the officials of the European Commission a few months ago in Abuja at an event where digital innovation hubs from all over Africa were there talking, discussing, talking about the challenges, the problems, and what solution can come. DigiLogic has one mandate from the Commission, that is to foster the collaboration between digital innovation hubs in Europe and in Africa. We are one of 5 other projects across Africa with at least 30 African partners funded by the European Commission and at least 5 to 7 Nigerian. I didn't count them all in detail. And all these projects are working directly, obviously, with the Commission, that is our donor, but also with the D4D Hub, the Digital for Development Hub. That is actually a wider initiative that we look up to. We were, so pretty glad that we will celebrate later tonight. We were granted another Horizon Europe, in this case, project into the area of agricultural innovation and capacity building in the agricultural landscape. It's a coordination support action where we have around 30 partners between Europe and Africa. And in this case, I will have the luck, and all the team in Prototype will have the luck to work with partners from Somalia, from Kenya, from Turkey, from Italy, and so on and so forth. So it's a great network of partnership. For an SME like us, it's an opportunity to grow, to employ new talents, local talents, to allow these talents to grow, being mentored by peers as well, but sometimes also by highly specialized professionals that are maybe in Makerere University in Uganda, maybe they are in the National Institute of Tanzania, or maybe they are in Fraunhofer IML for the smart logistics, because they are the technical experts. They are helping us here. After celebrating tonight, we'll go back working because there is some mission into the Farm to Fork initiative. 23rd of February is deadline, and here I have to say again, a great pleasure. We are working for a couple of proposals. One is African food cities, a big challenge. And here we have among our partners working every day now, Edo Government State, Enugu Ministry of Innovation, Lagos Waste Management Authority, that are pulling together, coming up with great solution, and hopefully, fingers crossed, win the proposal. But again, I don't want to praise too much, but I have really to thank, on behalf of Prototype, the opportunity for these projects, because it gives us the chance to be ahead of time, to work with great partners, and I'm discovering knowledge, technical knowledge from great institutions in Nigeria and across Africa. And these projects give us the possibility to network, to grow, to learn, and to be ahead of our competitors.
Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.
On this note, I would like to say a big thank you to every single one of you on the panel for honoring our invitation on a Saturday evening. Thank you for sharing your successes, your challenges, and sharing with us how we as businesses, ecosystem entrepreneurs, can tap into technology to help us better our productivity and be competitive and grow as individuals, as businesses, and as a country. Thank you very much.
Welcome back. Having participated in the roundtable discussion put together by Tony Elumelu Foundation, with me today is
Harrison Ifeanyichukwu
and okay, we'll be sharing with you things that we learned at the Tony Elumelu Foundation roundtable discussion, because a whole lot was said on how teenagers could benefit on entrepreneurship, innovation, and a whole lot more. So let's hear from our participants.
Thank you. You see, the youths most of the times are marginalized when it comes to grants and loans. But in this foundation, I discovered there are plans for the youth, especially through the digital device. I discovered that most youths carry their phone, the teenagers that carry their phone, they don't even know the information that their phones have. So with this symposium or this exposure, we've discovered that youths and teenagers can participate in these loans and grants if they have the information. So we are trying to let the youth know through this program that it is possible for them to participate in these grants and foundational activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot from this program. First of all, I want to say that from this program, I learned that the youth there outside there and also the teenagers can actually go for a loan and offer for grants to start a business while at school. And with their digital, with their phone, with their smartphone, they can actually do a lot with their phone in order to promote the economy through entrepreneurship.
A whole lot was learned, and we want to appreciate the Tony Elumelu Foundation for this great feat that have been brought to Nigeria and to the youths. So we urge you all to participate and be beneficiaries of this great foundation. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you also. So we've had it all. It all starts from the mind. So I urge teenagers to set their mind and build it up to a certain state where we lead the market. The time is now. All is set, and it's time for us to harness these benefits that have been brought to us by this Tony Elumelu Foundation. Thank you.
Teen Times TV, editing teens and pop culture.